As the owner and skipper of a 120-year-old tall ship, Bessie Ellen, Nikki Alford juggles many jobs. These include cook, planner, teacher, project manager, bureaucracy navigator, dog mum, and today, sail mender.
So today we are repairing sails before we put them back on again. They've been in storage all winter, and now I've done all the rest of the jobs. We can do the nice ones. This canvas sail is quite old, and you see that a lot of the stitching, the sun has perished the stitching and not the canvas. So we're just running in some hand sewing thread in a sort of old-fashioned seam stitching form. So we're going through quite a few layers of canvas here. So we have a palm for pushing the needle through. It's mostly leather, gut, and then there's a piece of metal put in here. You can see it's like a thimble. It's the same design as a thimble, but instead of putting your sort of finger on the needle, you're putting your palm, which is why it's called a palm. This one has got a higher ridge here, usually for winding the thread around thumb, or roping palm they were called. It's because when you put the bolt rope on, every stitch has to be so tight. This one's not as good, but it fits me, and each palm is fit to your hand. So when you buy them, you put them in cold or hot water or whatever, soak them, and then you wear the palm all day and it fits to your hand. So you don't really want anybody else wearing it, otherwise it takes the shape away. In the old days, the ship would have had a sailmaker, usually one of the older sailors. In the old days of square rig sailing, they would have had a chap and an apprentice maintaining sails the whole time. But yeah, it's a nice thing to do and very important. The sails are your engines, so in the long run you want to look after them. A set of sails lasts around 15 years these days. In the old days, of course, this was made of flax canvas. This is actually made of plastic, although it seriously looks like cotton canvas, feels like canvas, sounds like canvas, but it was invented up in Scotland and it's called Duradon. I can't remember what it was invented for, but it's something I think to do with the whiskey industry or something like that. Today it's a cheaper sail fabric that lasts quite a long time. The old sails, they used to tan bark to protect them. You know, you've seen red sails. Probably many of you associate fishing smacks with tan sails. And the tan colour was just oak bark and fat, sheep fat, and it was made into a canvas dressing really, so that the sails would not perish. So I'm just following, although I'm hand sewing, I'm following the line of the machine and going into the same holes to keep it easier. And you can see I've actually repaired this seam before. It's not unknown to sew your jeans to it as well. So basically I'm putting the needle in at a sort of 45-degree angle on the edge of the seam. Example of flat seaming. And so I'm going to overlap my stitches now, about 4 I reckon. Sharp needle is a thing of beauty. There we go, there's 4. And then to finish off, I just go backwards a number of stitches. I think somebody has had an act of terrorism because somehow this sail has cut. There's like, we count the layers in here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 layers of canvas, and then there's a kringle around set in, and this holds the sheet or the reef. So it needs to be a very strong point. So when the sailmaker makes the sail, this is generally one thickness, just 1 layer of canvas. And then when he comes to the areas that need to be strong, he will set in lots and lots more layers. So you can see that there's layers there, and then there's probably 2 layers here inside, and then 2 layers that go over the outer. So it's not just a fat ledge, it's a bit like a taper of cloth. You can see it's a bit paler. And then that can take the pull, and then it won't stretch the rest of the sail. There's a lot to do in sail making, actually, and now there's very, very few traditional sail makers left in this country. These ones came from Brightlingsea in Essex. Unfortunately, Mark's retired, which is very sad. So I'm not really certain with where we're going to go next. So. You see just a knife, but we cut the tips off so you can never stab it into your leg if you're climbing aloft. You always have a blunt knife. Hello puppy, come over here, you can come and sit here. Are you my sailmaker's pet? Sailmaker's pet, teacher's pet, captain's favourite dog. Oh, you want to go home, do you? Look at you being photo genius. Photo bombing, that's what they call it. I would love to have been a sailmaker on ships in the old days. Maybe I still will. I'll join a big old sailing ship and sail round the Horn spinning yarns of going to sea. Talking bollocks. Which most sailors do. Educational videos. How to make a sail.